Let's begin with the big story of the day. The Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has made a series of explosive allegations against the Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi, claiming links with Pakistani national Ali Tauqir and his associates. Speaking at a news briefing, Himanta presented what he called the Pakistan files and alleged that Gogoi and his family had both financial and communication ties with Tauqir, who reportedly visited India multiple times during the UPA era. Himanta further claimed that Gogoi legitimized Pakistan's actions and that the case exposes a broader Pakistan-backed plot. He also highlighted links involving Mrs. Elizabeth Gogoi and alleged that interesting financial and strategic connections have come to the light. The Chief Minister, in fact, also confirmed that the matter will be referred to the Ministry of Home Affairs for further investigation.
We searched and then we found that Gaurav Gogoi's wife, Elizabeth Colburn Gogoi, was working in Pakistan since March 18, 2011 to March 17, 2012. And then we searched further on different open source and social media. Then we found that the family is very closely connected with a person called Ali Tauqir Sheikh. In 2011, Elizabeth has come to Pakistan from America. Elizabeth was transferred to India but continued to be paid by the Ali Tauqir. She was given an appointment with Lead Pakistan First for 1 year. Followed by that, she came to India. But the salary of Elizabeth Gogoi while she was working in India in a separate NGO, the salary was paid, continued to be paid by Lead Pakistan and Ali Tauqir Sheikh. August 5, 2014, Elizabeth Gogoi sent a report to her. This report is very, very important. She got information from IB, reference to secret IB reports. This was Elizabeth Gogoi's recommendation to Ali Tauqir that after Prime Minister Modi came into power, the climate actions group like CDK and Lead Pakistan, Lead India will not have a field day. So we have to change the strategy. She quote IB. I don't know where from she got the IB reports. And she says that now we have to change the strategy to low risk, low visibility.
So viewers, let's tell you about the explosive charges that have been leveled by the Assam Chief Minister against the Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi and his wife for her alleged links with the Pakistani national Ali Tauqir Sheikh. So let's get you the details that have been mentioned. Now, the charge that has been mentioned by the Chief Minister is that he visited India 13 times and all of these visits were during the UPA era, going on to say that sensitive information had been passed on to Pakistan. In fact, the Assam Chief Minister also went on to say that communal tensions had been instigated via social media, going on to say that there was a particular anti-India narrative that had been funded by multiple NGOs, saying that there is a Pakistani link to it, which in turn is linked to the wife of Gaurav Gogoi, Elizabeth. In fact, this charge being made by the Assam Chief Minister, going on to also say that the matter will also be referred to the Union Home Ministry as well. In fact, more of a timeline also being given that the work that had been done in Pakistan from 2011 to 2012 is what really started this contact with the Pakistani agent, as he was called by the Assam Chief Minister, going on to say that she came in contact with this Pakistani agent, which was back in 2011-2012, saying that there are multiple undisclosed visits that were made to Pakistan and sensitive information had actually been passed on to Pakistan, saying all of this took place during the UPA era, that the Pakistani nationals were also traveling to India, and there were also many clandestine visits that had taken place to Pakistan, and that sensitive information of the country had been given over. So the lens now is being on the undisclosed visit, the Pakistani visit on special visa arrangements as well, saying that there were many questions that were asked as well in the parliament to access critical information. So remember, the Congress party raised multiple issues, and the charge of the Assam Chief Minister is that many of these questions that were raised in the parliament were actually intended to get access to critical information of the country and then pass it on to Pakistan. And that is the big charge that has been leveled by the Chief Minister. But let's also tell you about the findings of the SIT probe that has exposed the chilling and sinister plot. Because remember, the Assam Chief Minister has also previously made these charges against a Congress MP and his wife. So let's talk about what the probe has found so far on the issue of salary as well, that Pakistan sent funds to lead India. Apart from that, the management of all of it was being done by Pakistan. This is what has been claimed by the Chief Minister, going on to say that there have been multiple violations, that salary had been paid directly to Gaurav Gogoi's wife, Elizabeth. This is the charge that has been made and been put in the SIT as well. This is what the SIT has revealed on how this entire modus operandi was, how it really worked. So the data leaked Gogoi's wife and the documents that had been sent to Pakistan. So there were multiple documents that were sent to Tawqir Ali, and all of these have been looked at by the SIT. In fact, the role also raises multiple questions that all of this information was received from the parliament with the questions that had been raised in the parliament. So this is the link that has been established by the BJP, by the Assam Chief Minister, who has gone on to say that George Soros, the link then leads to Ali Tawqir Sheikh, who is the Pakistani national, who in turn got in touch with Elizabeth Kolban, who is the wife of Gaurav Gogoi, saying that there is a much bigger plot there is at play to get information and to also spur communal violence in the country. This is the charge that has been made. So let's now tell you what Himanta Biswa Sarma has said as the sinister plot to destabilize Bharat. This plot involves this billionaire George Soros providing funds to Ali Tawqir, the Pakistani national known for his close proximity to the Pakistani inner political circle as well, who is also associated with the Pakistan-based NGO Lead Pakistan that we spoke of previously as well. So Gaurav Gogoi's wife Elizabeth worked under him during March 2011 to March 2012, and this is how the Assam Chief Minister claims the entire plot was working to destabilize India. Listen in to what the Chief Minister said.
Elizabeth Gogoi started her professional career with Senator Tom Udali of America. Now, who is Senator Tom Udali? That is also very interesting thing. After Bin Laden was captured and killed, America stopped all financial assistance to Pakistan. Now, there was a Senate committee where Tom Udali was the member, and Tom Udali recommended that America should restart financial aid to the Pakistan. We have documents to prove that Senator Tom Udali actually received lot of election donation from George Soros Foundation.
So after Assam Chief Minister leveled these serious allegations against the Congress MP alleging these Pakistani links, there is a response that has come in from the MP, who slammed the Chief Minister and said that it was the most flop presser of the century and worse than a C-grade movie. He accused the Chief Minister of making mindless and bogus points, contrasting it with his own Parivartan rally that he had taken place, where he called for a change. He said that his Parivartan Yatra successfully also exposed the alleged land occupation by the Chief Minister and his family.
Chief Minister has embarrassed himself on national stage. After a 2.5-hour long press conference, he was not even able to convince the journalists in the room. The Chief Minister thinks that the people of Assam do not have any intelligence, do not have any knowledge. So He should respect the people of Assam. People of Assam know who is the ultimate deceitful chief minister. We have uncovered more than 4,000 acres of land, 4,000 acres of land belonging to the chief minister and members of his family. He is unable to hide from that. He is unable to run away from that. He is unable to hide that. And therefore, a desperate chief minister is resorting to the only thing he knows, which is lies, lies and more lies.
Now let's also talk about another big controversy from Assam. A huge showdown is playing over the now deleted social media post by the ruling BJP Assam's state unit. This video was edited to show Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma pointing a gun, and you can look at the visuals on the screens. It led to shock and a lot of outrage as well. The Assam Chief Minister said that he hasn't seen any such video. This was a video that was put out on the BJP for Assam handle. It was then deleted, with many from the Congress and opposition parties saying that this is a call for genocide, a genocidal video, after which this video has been deleted. When we asked the Chief Minister about it, here is what he said.
Oppositions are now making allegations on that particular video which was been uploaded, that you are pointing a gun on that and you are targeting the another company.
Neither I have seen any video, neither I give...
They have said you have deleted that
How can anything has been posted from my account? Then why you are... I mean that I deleted, I edited. I am a Chief Minister of Assam and I don't do video things.
And after the comment, he has said that you are lying.
What I am saying, that I am a Chief Minister of Assam. A Chief Minister cannot say any lie. I have to say with responsibility.
Now, the opposition has accused the ruling party of deliberately spreading hatred and normalizing violence through official social media platforms, calling for strict judicial action.
नहीं, उनकी हरकतें तो 2 रुपए की भी नहीं है, 2 पैसे की भी नहीं है। मुसलमान इस देश का नागरिक नहीं है। ये देश हेमंत विश्वकर्मा की या आसाम उनकी जागीर नहीं है। ये देश सबका है। ये राजनाथ सिंह जैसे और नितिन गडकरी जैसे जिस पार्टी में लोग हों, अभी तक उस पार्टी ने ऐसे इंसान के ऊपर एक्शन क्यों नहीं लिया?
चुनाव का वक्त है और जिस प्रकार शब्दों का प्रयोग कर रहे हैं कि मियाँ लोग पे अगर 5 रुपए के बाद 4 रुपया दो, और एक वीडियो काफी वायरल हो जिसमें आपने देखा होगा कि जो टारगेट करके जिस प्रकार, उससे तो चुनाव आयोग को संज्ञान लेना चाहिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट को संज्ञान लेना चाहिए। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की शपथ लेते हैं, काम ऐसा करते हैं जो कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन विरोधी काम करते हैं। तो हेमंत बिस्वा शर्मा जी, मैं समझता हूं उस जितने लोग जो समाज को सोशल फैब्रिक को बांटने में सबसे आगे हेमंत बिस्वा शर्मा भी है। देखिए, डिलीट होना ये अलग बात है, लेकिन ये उनका इंटेंशन क्या है ये क्लियर है। और कोई भी सत्ता के शीर्ष पे किसी राज्य में बैठा हुआ मुख्यमंत्री हो, उस सबके लिए वो सभी के मुख्यमंत्री है, किसी एक वर्ग विशेष के मुख्यमंत्री नहीं है। तो पोलराइज करने का उनका एक प्रयास ही है।
You know, giving all these details, jugglery of words, ultimately the target is the minority. And in the name of Bangladeshi they are targeting the minority. Because a large number of minorities living in Assam, they are living in under threat. And then openly he said that they are economically they will be targeted.
So with that, we shift our attention now. Viewers, the RSS is celebrating 100 years of its existence and service to the nation. And in line with the celebrations, the RSS is holding a lecture series in Mumbai, being attended by several notable personalities and Bollywood celebrities. And one such person whose presence grabbed the headlines is top Bollywood actor Salman Khan, who was not only present at the event but was also seen paying keen attention to the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat's speech. Mohan Bhagwat addressed the gathering and put the focus on the Sang's values and the need to focus on national unity over power. The RSS chief also spoke of communal harmony and the need to go Swadesi, a speech that was very keenly heard by the who is who of the creative industry. In attendance was also a battery of top Bollywood names, including the top Bollywood actor Salman Khan, as well as actors Akshay Kumar, Ranbir Kapoor. Also present at the RSS centenary event was filmmaker Subhash Ghai, as well as noted poet and filmmaker Prasoon Joshi. Interestingly, the Sangh chief also praised Salman Khan speaking of how he still plays a big role in influencing the younger generations. The Sangh chief mentioned how college students try to imitate Salman Khan's style and said that good values in society must become a fashion.
तो समाज फैशन से चलता है। सिनेमा में सलमान खान जी क्या पहनते हैं, कॉलेज विद्यार्थी वैसा पहनते हैं। अरे भाई क्यों पहन रहे? नहीं, उन्होंने पहना इसलिए। और उन्होंने क्यों पहना मालूम नहीं। सभी बातों में ऐसा, अच्छी बात बुरी बात सभी बातों में ऐसा फैशन से चलता है।
So what's interesting is how Salman Khan's presence at the RSS event comes just about a year after he was also seen flaunting a limited edition watch inspired by the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, a move that had drawn significant attention and condemnation from some religious clerics. But Salman Khan's appearance at the event seems to have rattled those who are known to oppose the Sangh. So the opposition is asking why RSS is focusing on publicizing only the presence of actor Salman Khan, asking whether their love for Muslims is limited to the Bollywood actor. Others believe that Salman Khan has surrendered to fascist forces.
So maybe some celebrity had some in mind that under RSS rule now, their business may be in danger. So they are trying to satisfy them. But at that ultimately, once you surrender to the fascist forces, it does not pay. Ultimately, they will do what they want to do. So by attending their meeting, if they think they will be escape from this communal attack of the RSS, I think celebrity are in the wrong footing.
सलमान खान को देखकर मुझे आनंद भी हुआ और आश्चर्य हुआ। देश के सभी मुसलमानों को संघ में प्रवेश या स्वीकृति आप देने जा रहे हो तो आप जाहिर करिए। कैसे भी दिखावा है। आपकी सरकार, आपके प्रधानमंत्री, आपके गृह मंत्री, आपके मुख्यमंत्री दर दिन हिंदू मुसलमान एक द्वेषपूर्ण भाषा में पूरा देश को माहौल बिगाड़ रहे थे। और आपने कल सलमान खान को बुलाकर देश को क्या दिखाया, संघ ने क्या दिखाया? ये संघ में मुसलमानों का स्वागत है। अगर मुसलमानों का स्वागत है तो मैं भी आपका स्वागत करता हूं। फिर ये देश में हिंदू मुसलमानों की राजनीति बंद है, यही मेरा कहना है।
तो देखिए, मैं समझता हूं कि ये लगातार ये सरकार दबाव डालती है, दबाव डाल के काम कराती है। मैं समझता हूं लोगों का नेताओं पे वो अपना ज्वाइन कराती है। अब तो वो फिल्म स्टार्स पे भी दबाव डाल के इस प्रकार काम करती है। तो मैं समझता हूं दबाव का एक पार्ट है।
In fact, we also have a reaction coming in from Veer Savarkar's grandson. Listen in.
I fully agree with Mohanji Bhagwat that if Bharat Ratna is awarded to Swatantraveer Savarkar, that award will get glorified. Nothing is required to further glorify Swatantraveer Savarkar because Swatantraveer itself is a title which is given by the people of India to him. I feel it's much higher respect already given to Veer Savarkar ji. And our family has also made it very clear since long back that we are not asking for the Puraskar, Bharat Ratna. On the same line, we are thinking on the same line that Swatantraveer is better this one because it is that title is awarded to him by people of India.
So politics has erupted over this pitch for Bharat Ratna for Savarkar. In fact, Udit Raj of the Congress party has said that this is not acceptable. Yet again, the Congress party raising an issue with it, going on to say that those who were responsible for the partition of the country cannot be conferred the Bharat Ratna.
Prestige of Bharat will go down to drain. Respect, dignity attached to Bharat Ratna will also fall down. The person who was responsible for partition of the country, the person who was agent of agent of British, the person who had stood with the British, such person is, if conferred Bharat Ratna, so Bharat Ratna award itself will lose its value.